l'argent quitter la vie. Apprécier ça yo ka fait ko yo a parmi nous joli. Là c'est mauvais valet fait non nous ka crucifier mon vie. Faut nous connaître pour meilleur c'est pour nous tout ça bénéfice.
Good morning, Dominica. Good morning, Eastern Caribbean. Welcome to another Creole Heartbeat program. It's a pleasure to have you in our company today. It's a very, very wonderful actual Wednesday in Dominica. Maman, disons franchement, ça c'est un bel petit jour là, messieurs. Bel petit jour à Dominique. Nous avons des spécial bonjour pour tout le monde, à tout quoi la Dominique et aux Antilles. C'est donc un plaisir pour nous là avec Zo encore. Nous avons une spéciale émission. Nous avons commencé une spéciale série des programmes, messieurs, avec Zo. Et puis nous avons un spécial invité, nous avons comme invité, la grand invité même tout bon là avec Zo. Et puis nous avons un spécial émission. Just want to say, let's see if we have the Godfather on. Good morning to you, Gordon Henderson. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Your Excellency.
Okay, we have you loud and clear so we can actually go right into it. Good morning to our listeners and viewers to the first episode in this all-important series of podcast webinars on Caribbean Calypso music. Our objectives are to explore the Creole origins of the Calypso music, to understand the migration and transformation of Calypso in Trinidad and Tobago, to analyze the evolution of Calypso in Soca and Calypso in the 70s, to discuss the significance of these genres in connecting with African roots and global outreach. Our presenter today is Mr. Gordon Henderson, a pioneering voice in Caribbean ethnomusicology. Gordon Henderson is a distinguished ethnomusicologist specializing in Caribbean music with a focus on Calypso, and has dedicated over 50 years of his research and experimentation in this vibrant genre. In the mid-70s, he was inspired to collaborate with a group of young Dominican musicians who were not well versed in the Creole language or music. Drawing on his deep knowledge of the Creole traditions, he invocally fused these elements with Calypso, coining the term Calypso to describe this exciting new blend. The emergence of Calypso was nothing short of revolutionary, capturing the hearts of audiences and musicians alike. Henderson's contribution to music extends beyond his research. He is also a celebrated songwriter and composer recognized by SACEM, the French Copyright Society. His talent as a television host and performer have further solidified his reputation internationally through his work. Gordon Henderson continues to celebrate and elevate Caribbean music, leaving a lasting impact on the global music scene. And this inaugural webinar will challenge common narratives and address often overlooked aspects of the Calypso history. Discussions will include the Creole language origins, the revolutionary movements of the 70s, and the evolution of musical genres such as Soca and Calypso. These genres frequently dismissed or misinterpreted within narrow definitions of vital expressions of Caribbean identity and societal community. Our aim is to correct misconceptions and highlight the interconnectedness of Caribbean music styles, reducing Calypso and its derivatives to isolated genres or specific eras erases the cultural community and social significance that define our musical heritage. Listeners are invited to participate in this engaging series that promises to shed light on the true history of Caribbean music and history that is dynamic, inclusive, and reflective of our collective identity. With us in studios, cultural historian and columnist, also songwriter, teacher Ian Jackson, celebrated music producer and sound engineer, also keyboardist and founder of and CEO of Dada Manufacturing Company, Dada Krishna Lawrence. Also Daryl Bob of Silver Star Inc., also the secretary of the Dominica Calypso Association, and two-time Calypso monarch of Dominica. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first edition of this all-important webinar. Mr. Gordon Henderson, live in Paris. It is all yours. Take it easy, my brother. And we are all focused, by the way, our special cast. You are asked to listen attentively, take your notes, and then we'll have a special section for questions. So you'll be able to question the legendary Gordon Henderson, the godfather of Calypso. Gordon Henderson.
Well, thank you very much, Your Excellency. I don't usually call you that, but thank you, Wadix, bro. I'm very happy because this topic is a topic that creates a lot of excitement among many people, among academics, among scholars, among fans of Calypso. People have different definitions for Calypso. Some people think that it is sacrosanct and it is carved in stone and it is not supposed to be moved or touched. So it's a very delicate topic to deal with. It's a pity that I'm not seeing my friends because I was counting on having some assistance from our friends that you mentioned. But good morning to everyone. I can't see you. And so, but before we dive into the core of this complex topic, I'd like to address some common, in my opinion, misconceptions about Calypso music, many of which I am sure that most of our listeners have heard before and may even consider them to be historically accurate. Now, please keep these points in mind as we discuss them, not from a historian's perspective or as fans, but strictly from a musicological standpoint. Okay, now I listed a few misconceptions. One, Calypso originated from a West African genre called Kaiso, spelled Kaiso. I've read that on numerous occasions. Now, from my research and travels, this doesn't seem to be accurate. We can discuss that. I have found no empirical evidence that there was or still is any musical format anywhere on the African continent called Kaiso. It would seem that there have been words, particularly in the Yoruba language, that sounded like Kaiso, but as a genre, I haven't found any. I would be very, very happy if we could find this Kaiso and how it became Calypso. I have a few ideas, but I would like to reserve that for our discussion. Now, number two, I've read too that the early Calypsonians were griots. Now, most of us would know who is a griot in Africa then and now. I am a firm believer in speaking of our heritage in terms of orality. This is why this may shock many that I am not a firm supporter of writing Creole. I am happy that there is there is. I think he is deceased now. Nobel laureate from St. Lucia in literature called Derek Walcott, who mockingly said, I don't agree with him, but that amused me, that he said writing Creole is graffiti. Now, I believe in orality. I believe that the Creole language has survived centuries without having to be written anywhere, and it can very well continue to survive and probably flourish if we pursue usage more than orthography. So that thing that the early Calypsonians were griots. When we analyze what a a griot was, and still is, because we've heard of, in modern times, a singer from Africa called Salif Keita, albinos gentleman who is